think we are due a little bit of a catch-up. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And I want to start off by giving you a little bit of a life update of where I am, what I'm up to, what I've been up to, because a lot has changed in the last few months or 6 months of my life. A lot for the better. Some things that I've struggled with, some things that I didn't expect to struggle with, and just new challenges, new routines, new ways of living my life. So I thought I'd share that with you and catch up. And you can see by the title of this video, I just want to share that because I don't hear people talking about it too often, but I also like to just share and journal through the camera with you. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I have some topics written down in here and I am going to chop in and out with the notes that I have. So I want to first start by saying I am unbelievably grateful to be where I am. I think this was a dream in the back of my head for maybe 5 years. I always posted videos with no intent on TikTok for a while, and then as soon as I got a sniff of what this world could be and I started to see that I could make a bit of a difference and try to help more people, in the back of my mind this was always a dream, to be able to quit my job and create content. And most people, I guess, would call my job role an influencer, as they say. I like to think of myself as a content creator, or I don't know, just a creative, to be honest. And I'm trying to lean more into that because that is the thing that I like to do, is create. So if you don't know me, I'm Harrison. I post mental health content online with a side of running, cycling, lifestyle, fashion, I guess, anything. I'm just me, and that's what I share and show the world. But I mostly post mental health stuff because that is why I started this. That is why I have ended up here doing what I do, because I share my thoughts, my feelings, I share perspectives, I guess some tips on how we can make our mental health a little bit better. So yeah, that's where I'm at, and that's what I do. And I guess I've been doing it for a few months now, maybe 6 months maximum. I've really taken this seriously, and I was lucky enough to quit my job, as I said, and that's come with a lot of change, and it has come along with my own mental health battles, I guess. A lot of imposter syndrome, a lot of feelings of lack, a lot of comparison. I want to talk about it. Being a content creator, being online, being someone that shares a lot has brought on some feelings of comparison and not being good enough and being a little bit of an imposter in the space, because it has forced me to try to be like everyone else. I guess that's just the human mind trying to fit in, trying to be like everyone else, trying to do the things that everyone else does, because that's what I thought an influencer or content creator had to do, and that is not the case. And I feel like the last few weeks I've fallen back into that. I've started to make content for a reason, the reason that I make content. I've started to make it the way that I make it. I've often put off making YouTube videos because of that very thing. I feel like I have to be like some outgoing vlogger and make some over-the-top crazy content, crazy edits or storylines or whatever, but that's not what I do. I like to sit in front of a camera. I do like to bring you along. I like to share my life, but the way I want to do it, you know? The next point is a change in mindset that I've had very recently that I think can apply to everything. And of course we are always told this, but it's very easy to forget. But we should remember our why. I think for a moment I started getting sucked into the influencer life. I thought I had to do day in the lives. I thought I had to post these perfect photos with a camera like this, make it look amazing, with no errors in the photos, no silly faces, no imperfections, I guess. But that is not who I am, and that is not who I think most of us are. And I don't think that most people are sharing that. I just felt a need to, because that is what I think our brain tells us to do when we are sharing to thousands of people. It tries to convince us that we have to be perfect. But yeah, we have to remember our why. And my why has always been to try and help the younger version of me. My biggest inspiration. The version of me that carried on when he didn't think he could. It's to help give advice or perspectives or life lessons to those that are struggling with their mental health, to try and be a little bit of kindness, to be a bit of brightness, and to help people realise that they already know what I'm saying. They just need to hear it again and be reminded of it. And when it comes back to that, every crossroad I come to, whether it's content or brand or going on a trip, it comes back to that. I want to do my best for that younger version of me. And I'm very lucky to be in a spot where I can try and do that. And I come to those crossroads quite often. And most of the battle is deciding the right way to go and the right thing to do, even if everyone else isn't doing that. So, next up, I want to talk to you about the always on mindset I feel like I've had for years. And some of you may know, some of you may not, but I used to be a footballer. I played for Southampton from 15 to 20 years old, and just before 20 years old to those that really care. And that meant for me being the hardest worker in the room. It meant getting there the earliest, leaving the latest. It meant doing extras, going to the gym at every opportunity that I could. It meant doing free kick practice because I wanted to be the best. It meant running the most, working the hardest, showing up the most. And now I feel like I'm in a little bit of a slower period. And I've struggled with that. I don't constantly have a big task to crack on with. I don't constantly have customers to talk to from my previous job at work. I don't have an endless list of tasks that I have to complete. I guess half of my job now is to live my life, to capture that, to share that. And it feels a little bit weird. I grew up being told to work hard. With the grind mentality, there was no ups and downs. It was just work hard, work hard, work hard. No matter how I felt or where I was, work harder. And I'm learning that that is not the way, but I'm still struggling with that. To work hard also means to rest. It means to find space, to think. It means being bored and allowing our minds to grow and understand things. And that's been a big shift for me. So that has been one of the struggles I've had, is accepting that, learning that, and giving myself that, I guess. Right, I'm going to go for a little stroll for the next one. I don't know what that is yet. Yeah, I want to talk about what it means, or has meant to me, to chase my dreams, because I am most certainly, I would be lying if I didn't say that I was living a dream that I've had for a while right now. I just went away to Barcelona with Runner on a brand trip, a dream brand trip that I got to take my best mate with me, that this all started with. I met people I've followed for years. I've ticked off so many things that I've wanted to do for so long. So I am living a dream that I've had. And I want to say, firstly, you absolutely can make whatever dreams you may have come true. You absolutely can do things that you don't even think or know how to do. And it may not always be straightforward. You may not always see the path and the way that you're going, and you might not know what's next or how to get there, but you will. Because chasing a dream is not linear. It is not straightforward. It is full of ups and downs. It is full of changes and shifts and transitions and highs and lows. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to get there. And I think what I've learned is that most people stop before they reach the miracle, before they witness the miracle, they give up. because they don't think it's working out. They don't think they're doing it right. They don't know what the next step is, so they don't go anywhere at all. I have not reached the top. I have not done everything I want to do, but that's why I'm keep going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to keep taking steps, even when I don't know where that's taking me. And I think that's a lesson to all of us. No dream is linear. No route to success is straight. Sometimes you've got to climb the mountain to realize that that's not the way. And you have to come back down and find another route, but that's fine. That's what it is to chase your dreams. And that's how I feel like I'm stood here right now. Constantly climbing, ascending, descending, and figuring it out along the way. That's where I am right now. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Going back on the tripod. Get my little camping chair back out. It's very busy here. Oh, that is pretty dark. It's pretty busy here, where I'm sat. So I decided to just come back here and talk to you from the van. I alluded to it a little bit there. I have had a pretty busy year. I got to go to Barcelona with Runner. I also went to Alicante with Brooks to test out the very muddy but very good Brooks Ghost Trail. I also went to Murcia again with like 40 to 50 people from Run Club, which is just insane. We started as 5 and now there's nearly 50 of us going, which is just incredible. But yeah, I've had some pretty special memories this year so far already, and that also feels another reason for me to be like, why? Why am I so lucky? Why is this happening to me? And I've struggled with that. And I'm not here to give you any advice on that because I'm currently in it, but I guess a good thing to remember, and a good friend of mine today told me this actually, Dan, that usually our mindset or our own awareness of what we're doing is usually it's usually a few years behind. So in a few years, I'm going to look back and realize that I was living in the dream right now. And hopefully I'm then in 2 years thinking that I'm being an imposter. I feel like I'm not in the rooms, like I don't fit in the rooms that I'm in, and I'm out of my depth. But I'll realize that 2 years later it wasn't. I guess that's the beauty of it. The pressure is a privilege. The pressure of being in rooms that make us feel a little bit more uncomfortable than the one before it. That's what it's about. We have to chase our dreams. We have to do new things. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And if we want to be someone we've never been before, we have to do things we've never done before. I've just hit you with back-to-back quotes there, but it's true. We are not going to feel comfortable our whole entire lives. That is not the point. It is a privilege to feel pressure. It is a privilege to be stressed and worried about things we once dreamt of being in. My best mate has just opened a gym. Well, he opens next month. He's just announced it. He's 25 years old. He owns a gym. It's a huge gym. It's no garage gym. It's a massive, huge, amazing gym that I can't wait to be a part of and train at and hopefully host some things there. And I've watched his process, and I guess that is the best way that we can experience it, because we can see it all. There have been times where he has wanted to give up, probably. He's never said that to me, but there have been times where most people would have quit. There have been times where it's looked impossible for him to get it done. There's been times where he's had setbacks and he's probably had stressful nights, and I know he's had stressful times because we've spoke through it and he shared that with me. At the end of the day, no one could do it but him, and he stood up and he's done it against the odds at a young age. He had a dream and he's gone and done it. And that's what life's all about. It's about to get a whole lot more stressful for him, owning a gym, but that's all part of it. That is part of the dream. Hi, mate. Okay, apologies, I don't know where I was. I just had a lovely young old man come over for a chat. But yeah, chasing dreams. I guess that's just an update for me, is that this is not simple, it's not easy. But if it's something we want to do and it's something we want to chase, then we have to do it. And I have big dreams. Maybe I'll share them with you in another video, maybe I won't, but I don't want to just post ads on Instagram forever. I love doing that for brands, like BetterHelp. I loved making video for Stanley. I loved making a video for Loop because I use their products all the time. But I also want to do other things. I want to create YouTube videos more. I want to host events. I want to host talks. I want to interact with people, because we're all going through the same stuff. And I don't have all the answers. I think it's quite obvious by now that I'm just journaling out loud to people online. And we all resonate because we just need someone to remind us of those things. So I think you should chase your dreams. That's where I'm at right now. And yeah, this is life as an influencer. This is life as someone that creates content. And as you can see, I'm just sat at the beach with my tripod sat in the back of my van, sat on a camping chair with the waves in the background. Yeah, just trying to figure some things out, you know? So that's where I'm at right now. On the ups and downs, sometimes I feel like I have it all figured out. Sometimes I feel like I'm so creative and I have so many ideas and I get so much done and I'm so productive. And on other days, I struggle to get up, to get something done, to get out the door. And yeah, that's just part of it. More good days than bad. That's what we got to hope for. And regardless of what type of day it is, we have to just keep showing up. So, I'll see you in the next one. I've been Harrison Davis. This is my YouTube. I'd appreciate a like, a comment, and subscribe. See you soon.